What is going on, guys? Grave here. Today I'd like to talk about a topic that has been a big one in the community since the launch of Update 46, and that is subclassing versus pure class. There's a lot of people that feel that there is no need whatsoever to run anything but subclassing, and I will agree. The pure class is just way behind when it comes to damage, to healing, to just anything you can do in game build-wise. And I think ZOS needs to look at this and figure out a way to make a subclass build be just as good as a pure class build. Before I get into all the details, be sure to hit the like button if you do enjoy the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to check out Control Freak down in the description. This is a company that I have used their products for a really, really long time, and I would highly recommend them. Now, when it comes to subclassing, of course, this was a big thing. A lot of people were really excited about it, and so was I. I was really happy to see this addition into the game. But at the same time, I still feel like subclassing needs work itself, just as a whole. There's a lot of passives and class abilities that are not worth using because that line particularly may not have something that you need in it, whether it be a passive or whether it be a really good ability but the passives are bad, or the passives are really good and the abilities are really bad. When it comes to a pure class build now, there is absolutely no reason in most people's mind to run one because subclassing outperforms it, especially on the DPS end, but even with other kind of support builds and things. There's got to be something done here, and I don't know what ZOS needs to do to begin with. If they need to look at subclassing as a whole and get everything fixed there to where all the abilities and all the passives are worthwhile and they're worth using, and you have a lot more variety. Because right now there's not really that much variety. People are using the same passives and the same skill lines pretty much on every class. But at the same time, there needs to be something done about a pure class build. So if you just want to have a Templar build that's all Templar abilities and passives, you're really not going to perform as well as someone that's made a subclassing build with Templar. So if you're combining a Templar and an Arcanist, for example, or a Templar and an Arcanist and a Nightblade, or whatever you want to do there, you're always going to outperform that just normal Templar class. And I'm really not sure what they can do. I worry at times. This is, of course, just my opinion. You may not agree. But I feel like ZOS does a lot of things, and I've said this many times here on the channel. They do a lot of different things in game, and it's the new big thing. And then the next new big thing comes in or comes out. And the other thing that was big from the previous year is kind of just left behind. Let's look at scribing, for example. Being able to make your own abilities in game is a great idea. To be able to combine things, go out and look for different scripts and stuff like that, and make an ability. That's a really unique, cool feature. And it's kind of just been put on the back burner. We didn't really get anything new with it this year. And I feel like they do that a lot in game with different stuff throughout the 10-year life cycle, just in general. And I'm worried if they really start focusing in on just pure class builds that subclassing will fall behind. And I feel like also on the other end, if they just continue to work on subclassing, pure class builds are just going to be irrelevant. So either way we go there, I'm afraid one or the other is going to get left behind. And I really would like to see, like I said, just kind of them to meet in the middle, where if you want to run a subclassing DPS build, it's not leaps and bounds above a good pure class DPS build. And I understand skill is going to come in that kind of come in there in a way. If someone's better at their rotation than I am, of course they're going to do more damage. That's just, I understand that. But at the same time, I don't think you should be able to just put on, let's go for an example of something that I kind of just tried out myself. I put on just some base, easy things you can get in game, a crafted set and a dungeon set. And I put it on a pure class build, and I put it on a subclass build, and the subclassing build way outperformed the pure class build, damage-wise. And that's something, in my opinion, that definitely does not need to be happening, because I understand that a lot of people out there really like the old way that the game was. They like that immersion of just being that character, not mixing and matching everything. They like using multiple different characters. Now, a lot of people think that what's really the point of having more than, maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 characters at the most, because you already have different loadouts, of course, that, you can save there in your armory. You can make different builds if you purchase those. You can have up to 10 on one character, so you can make a healing build, a tank build, several DPS builds. And then with subclassing, you're already using a lot of those skill lines on all your DPS builds. So why would you have 5 or 6 different DPS characters? Like where in the past you'd have a, maybe a stamina sork and maybe a magic sork, and maybe you'd go build a Templar, and then maybe you would go build a Necro. And so you had all those characters like I do when you have 20 from playing all those years. And now it seems like that's just not really necessary. And I'm sure in a way that it's a good thing for some new players. It's not just overwhelming. And that is a good thing to me. But at the same time, I really just want to see subclassing and pure class builds on a level playing field, to where if one is better than the other, it's only by like 1 or 2%. We're not looking at a massive difference. I think ZOS can definitely do that. I'm just worried that one or the other is going to get left behind. And like I said, right now, subclassing needs so much work, considering a lot of these lines and passives aren't really worth using at all, where you might have one really good ability in this skill line, but the passives are just not worth using, or vice versa. The passives are really good, but the abilities are not worth using. I just want to see some change just overall to where we can get these both equal, and you can really run whatever you want, because that was the whole idea behind subclassing anyway. That's really the whole idea behind the game. I mean, ESO is a game that says, they always come out and say play how you want, but I don't really agree with that all the time. I understand not everybody wants meta builds, not everybody wants whatever. They're not chasing end game. That's perfectly fine. That is great. I think it is good to have a different variety of players in game. But at the same time, if people want to, if they're just a casual player, they're still going to see that combining subclassing is a lot stronger than not using subclassing. And I think that's not a good thing. I think there needs to be a way there that both are viable, usable, and, just kind of even them out. You don't have to go in and nerf a bunch of stuff. Just buff up the pure class build. Somehow give them a bonus to damage, to whatever, to make them both definitely usable, and it will give us a lot more variety overall. Leave me a comment with your thoughts, and of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.